Well, here we are, Monday night, 8:33 p.m. This is Executive Consultant Richard Laidler with the Purge call, the accountability call for Monday night with Regional Consultant, brand new Regional Consultant, I might add, Sandra Louther. And so I'm very interested to see how her first day went. We had quite a long call yesterday, so we only got 3 invites done, and we're going to do some more invites on this call. So do stay with us. We'll do a couple more invites at the end of the accountability part, but I want to dive straight into the call. So first of all, Sandra, are you there, my lovely?
Yes, I am. Hi, Richard.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Fantastic. All right, so tell me all about your Monday. And as I say, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, embarrassing, whatever it is, be as vulnerable as you like, and we're good.
Okay. Yeah, it was all of those things.
Okay, good.
It's been a great day. It's been a challenging day. It's been an exciting day. And so let me start off with first saying, I did my morning routine, then I kind of dove in, and I wanted to make sure that I was prepared with the invite. And I know I didn't need to have it word by word, that it needed to be, the way that I could present it, but I listened to the recording because I wanted to go back and hear everything that you said, and I really drove myself crazy with trying to write it down. I must have gone through 10 different pieces of paper till I finally was comfortable. I finally got comfortable with how I was going to, do the invite with Greg. Was ready to go, had my nerve up, called him, and got his recording. And didn't know it wasn't him speaking, so I wanted to verify I even had his correct number. So I texted my sister-in-law. She said, that's his number. I said, okay. So I waited about 30 minutes, called again, and it was a recording. And I just left a brief message. Hey, Greg, this is Sandra. Sorry I missed you. Hey, I just have a quick question for you. If you get a chance to call me, I left the number and told him what time it was. And, then I went into looking at my script for Gary. And
hold on one second. Let's just quickly coach on the way you dealt with the Greg thing. Getting voicemails is pretty common, and you dealt with it perfectly. I don't know if you've heard on the Purge calls before, but there is a specific formula that I work with for voicemails, and you did it perfectly. We basically have a rule of 4 with voicemails. First of all, some people say, do I leave a message? Don't I leave a message? First of all, yes, you do leave a message, but you don't give any details other than obviously who you are, a number to call back on, and give me a call back. So my voicemail, it was exactly as you said. I would say, hey, Greg, it's Richard here. Trying to get hold of you. Give me a call when you get a chance. Thanks very much. My number's 214, blah, 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 blah. That's it. So do leave a message, but no details. You did it slightly different. You said, I got something I want to talk to you about, and that's great. Perfect. A second voicemail you can do the same day. So if you did a call in the morning, you can do another one in the afternoon. Let's say you get voicemail again. I would say, hey, Greg, I left a message for you this morning. I'm trying to get hold of you. Give me a call as soon as you can. Again, obvious. He knows that it's me, and that's it. Now, number 3. Is not the same day. We call the next day because we don't want to look just desperate, but the next day is, hey, Greg, I left a couple of messages for you yesterday, haven't heard from you, a little bit concerned, hopefully everything's okay. Give us a call when you get a chance. I had a little bit of guilt in there. I wanted to call me back because you're concerned about how he is, because we want to motivate him to call you back. So that's what number 3 is. We still don't hear from him, so voicemail number 4 is the next day again. So now it's voicemail number 4, but it's on the 3rd day. And I will do a takeaway here. I'll do a takeaway for a couple of different reasons. And the first reason is so you're not a nuisance. I don't want to appear desperate. But secondly, it's so that you, Sandra, can keep the power. If you're constantly calling someone and constantly getting their voicemail, you feel a little bit of power stolen from you each time you do that. And we don't want that to happen. We've got, hundreds of people to talk to on our written list, and we don't want one of them to take, a little bit, because you have enough calls like that, and you'll be like, oh, this business doesn't work, or blah, 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 blah. It takes you onto a bad, kind of bad posture. And so what I'll do on the fourth call is, hey, Greg, I've left you a few messages over the last couple of days. I'm assuming you are probably out of town or something, but I'm not sure what's going on. But I don't want to be a nuisance. So this is my last call to you. But as soon as you get this message, please do give me a call back. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Richard Laidler, 214-766, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Take it away. Done. And he goes on a drip list, call back, for about 2 months away. Because we haven't spoken to him, we haven't given him the opportunity to show him the business. So we put him on our drip list. We're going to give him a call back in 2 months. So again, what you've done there is you got the power back. You took it away from him. And if he genuinely does want to call you back, he's going to call you back. Because you said it on the fourth call. Assuming you're out of town, something's up, whatever. Give me a call back, but I'm not going to call you again. Okay, so that I'm not going to call you again gives you the power back. It's really cool, really good. Adds a little bit of reason for Greg to call you back. And if he doesn't, you don't hear from him, whatever, you're going to give him a call back in a couple of months. Now, the risk is that sometime in between that call and the next 2 months, someone else talks to him about the business and signs him up. Very, 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 very small risk. And it's a risk that is worthwhile doing rather than constantly be leaving voicemail messages like the loser girlfriend who won't let the boyfriend go, Or the other way around, the loser boyfriend who won't let the girlfriend go. So that's very important. It took about a couple of minutes to explain that, but those voicemail things are very important. It's really good. Again, this business is all about the posture, and we don't want to lose our posture because we can't get someone to answer the phone. Does that make sense, Sandra?
Yeah, that is great. Matter of fact, Richard, I almost texted you earlier today and said, what happens if I get a voicemail? Since I had gotten a voicemail, the first time I called the number, I did not leave a voicemail because I wasn't for sure I had his correct number.
Right.
So then the second time I thought, I need to leave a message. If he sees I called twice and I didn't leave a message, that seems weird. And so, I'm not going to have to call him back a second, third, or fourth time. I may need to do that with someone else, and that was great information that I need because I may run into that. But I kind of was jumping to the next person, and there is more to tell you about Greg. So he called me. I was in the kitchen. I think I had just finished lunch or something, and I wasn't in front of my script or anything. And he called, and so I, just casually got back in here, got myself positioned, got the posture going, and I went into the invite. And, if without your help, Richard, it would have been a train wreck. But I had that confidence to just, I didn't read word by word, but I was looking at it as I was speaking, and I believe it flowed really well. And so he is leaving town on Wednesday and gone through Saturday. And then when he gets back, he has some corporate meetings. So I kept flipping through the calendar, and we worked it out. I have an appointment with him. I'm so excited. Tuesday, October the 31st at 11 a.m., I am going to his home. And I will text him on Monday the 30th just to confirm, remind him. He has some workers come into the house, and I even asked him because he said they're going to be putting the countertops in, and I said, well, are you going to have to be talking to them and dealing with them? And he said, no. He says, I'll be totally done with them at 11. And I said, great. So I got an appointment with Greg.
2 things on that. In the words of Eric Johnston, boom! Way to go. Way to go, girl! That is fantastic, and that is pure. And I'm absolutely delighted that it worked that way. But I have to say, I'm not surprised because the way we do this works. Take the time, have the patience, and someone like Greg is worth it. And you got the appointment. And remember, the purpose of these calls is not to have someone join the business. If they do, fantastic. Purpose of the calls is to get them to look, and you're going to get them to look. So, number 1, fantastic, great job. You get a gold star, 1 out of 1. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Second, when you confirm with him, be very, very careful because you're still in danger of getting dragged into the valley of death. Because he may say, when you confirm with him, and he may say, what is it you want to talk about? So do be ready for that. When you confirm with him, either do it on text or ideally on the phone and say, listen, I'm super busy. I'm just about to go into such and such, but I just wanted to confirm our meeting tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you're in a hurry so you're protected from him throwing you into a wobbly of that valley of death, because I promise you, if you're not in a hurry and he says, so what is it you want to talk about? And you don't have a way out, then you will get dragged into probably the worst thing in this business. The worst thing is getting dragged into making a presentation over the phone. It is awful. It is very uncomfortable, and it's a slippery slope. And the more you do it, you're feeling more and more and more and more uncomfortable and thinking, I want to go. I want to get off the phone, but I can't. So be in a hurry. Get off the phone. Okay, so just be ready for that as and when you follow up with him, just to confirm the appointment.
I appreciate that. Yeah, right before I hung up, I told him, I said, you text, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, I will text you Monday evening just to confirm we're still on. And so that is going to be my text. Greg, nothing's changed with your workers. You're going to be at the house at 11 waiting for me, right? So I'm not going to talk to him. I'll send a text, but that's good.
Great.
If he comes back with something. So check. We got an appointment with Greg.
Good job. Way to go, girl. Now, what I need you to do is to keep score this week, because on next Sunday, we're going to go through how many calls you made and how many appointments you made, just to prove that this purge call works, because I want to kind of use these examples to market the call. I want more people. I believe every single Ambit consultant should be on this call, not because it's wonderful me, not because it's a wonderful system or whatever. It's because I think that what we do on this call is the part that's missing in all the training around the country. It's always, I see fantastic trainings, but they never really cover this in a real live environment. So keep count, and on Sunday we'll kind of see how you get on. So let's get on to the next one. Here I am saying I want a quick call, and I'm the one who's dragging it on. So let's get on to the next one.
Okay. So one thing that exhausted me a little bit today is I think I was just, I'm learning this of getting the script ready. And one thing that I recommend to everybody, that you do this call with Richard, and he gives you that script. Go ahead, replay it, write the script down exactly like he said, and then if you feel like you need to come back and change your word here or there because it feels better to you, or you're more comfortable with a different choice of word, but don't do it. That's part of what I wasted a lot of time with today, was I was kind of writing my own thing, then going back to yours. Well, when I got to Gary, that's what I did. I went back and replayed, and I started writing down everything you said, and that helped me. So Gary, I had to leave a voice message, and I basically did the same thing. Just told him who I was, left my number, told him I was sorry that I missed him, and I just need to briefly speak with him, and he could call me back later, or I would touch base with him tomorrow, something like that. So
okay, perfect.
And then I had spent so much time on rewriting my scripts and not starting off with what you had first told me to do. I never got around to calling Brian, so I messed up there.
Okay.
But let me tell you, what you're doing for me, I was thinking about this today, is that if people knew the value that was in this with you and what it could do for them, I don't care if they're a marketing consultant or an executive consultant, you would have probably people backed up and booked for the next year, because it is just done so much for me today. So I got a little tired of, I needed a break, actually. I just needed to step away from everything. So I went to the dollar store, and my car wouldn't start when I got back in, and the girl that worked there called her husband, and he came and gave me a jump. I got an appointment with them in 2 weeks.
What?
To show them the business. So she goes, I'm calling my husband. I live in that house right over there. Do you see that house? He's going to come over here. He works from home. and he works on computers from home, and he's going to come give you a jump. And so I felt I was just tired. I did not feel confident, and I was just like, just talk to them. And he started telling me a little bit about what he does. He does robotics for computers, works from home. And I said, well, do you ever think of doing anything on the side for a little bit extra money? He said, yeah, maybe. And I said, well, great. When can I meet with you and your wife for about 25 minutes? I will come to your home. And he said, this week is really booked. And then he started thinking about next week, and he was like, you know what, the next 2 weeks are really, really booked, but after that I can meet with you. And I said, I am putting it on my calendar. I got him and I got their phone number, and I said, I will be calling you. And he said, okay, that sounds great.
What's his name?
So his name is Kurt.
Kurt.
And her name is Jessica.
All right, let's just cover that real quick. So first of all, thank you for your vulnerability about the third invite. I completely get that. I also really appreciate the nice things that you're saying. Again, it's not necessarily the what you're learning on this call is anything new. What it does is it forces you to do what you're supposed to do. We all know what to do, but this call forces you to do it. And I think that's what you're finding today, is that it makes you think, oh my goodness me, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to get the invite. I don't mind that you're kind of working a little harder than you need to do the invites, because by the end of the week you'll be great at it. And there'll be a time when the invite is so viscerally inside you, it's so part of you, that you'll be able to throw it out without even thinking about it. Like I do on this call, I get thrown under the bus many times by someone giving me a real difficult invite, and I can work around it and then, kind of work on it. But that's because I've been doing this call for almost 2 years and working out invites for people. And there'll be a time when you guys are doing the same thing. So that's one point. The second thing is, what you did with Kurt was just beautiful. I love it. And I think I remember on the call yesterday, I mentioned to people that I built my business based upon speed number 2, which was not spare time, but promising myself that if I heard pain or got an opportunity, I'd invite people to look at my business. So that's not necessarily proactively calling a list and this type of thing, which is speed 3. And proactively calling a list at 2 calls a day is speed 3. And speed 4 is doing 10 calls a day of the same thing. But speed 2 is merely reacting to what happens to you during the day. And you did it so perfectly. You had an opportunity where you went to the dollar store and then someone said to you, my husband's going to help and blah, blah, blah. And you said, you know what do you do? And you asked the question. You did, that what we do in training, and when other people are doing the training, they're talking about how you get into conversation, talk about family, talk about occupation, talk about recreation, talk about, what you do for money and all this type of thing. And you did it perfectly. And then, you got a little bit of feedback. You heard he worked from home and this type of thing. And it's perfectly natural for you to say, well, this may sound like an unusual question, but do you keep your options open for making extra money alongside what you're currently doing? You worded it slightly differently. And again, that's perfectly fine. I'm English, so I word things differently than you do. Y'all from Texas, so you say it a little different than I do. And so it's perfect that you reword it. Because that's actually rule number 7. We have all these rules 1 to 6, but rule number 7 is be yourself. But you did it perfectly, and you can build a business by doing that. But you do have to promise yourself this one thing. And for those of you listening to this call, write this down. If I hear pain, I will offer help. If I hear pain, I will offer help. And that's what you did today. It wasn't so much pain, but you did hear an opportunity, and you offered the business, and that's perfect. You did great, fantastic. So that basically is out of 2. So you made 1. So you got 2 opportunities to show the business in your first day.
Yes, and if it weren't for you, if it weren't for the fact that I knew I was going to speak with you tonight, and I was on my own, I would not have called Greg. It took everything in me. And I remembered 2 things, and you said we hope he joins, but that's not what we don't care. That's not that we don't have to think about that. All we want is the invite. And then I had the script to help me, and I had to answer to you tonight that I made that call, and I would not have made it.
Isn't that the truth, though? But isn't that the truth? It's so much the truth. is that very often people, they're not building their business or whatever, and they go back to the training manual, or they go back to a training course on Saturday and hope they're going to find out what it is that's stopping them having the success. But in many cases, it's in the mindset. It's in the bit that we talked about at the very beginning of the call yesterday. It's in the fact that we don't care if he joins or not. We hope he does, but we don't care if he does. But as soon as you think about that, you go, oh, well, I don't mind now. It's like going next door and asking to borrow a cup of sugar. It's very different. But whereas if you think, I've got to get Greg in, the whole posture changes. So, yeah, again, thanks for pointing that out, because it's totally it. I keep saying on this call, I'm not teaching anybody anything new. I'm just helping you do what you're supposed to do with the right mindset. So, okay. So, all right. Well, let's work on. We're 20 minutes into the call, and I'm a little longer than I wanted to be. This is great training here. Well, certainly great training opportunities. Let's get a couple of invites done. Who else have we got on our list now?
Okay, so we need to jump down to Karen.
Okay, tell me about Karen.
So how I met her, I really don't know her personally. How I met her is through a mutual friend who called me last week and said, Sandra, what electricity are you with? And I said, Ambit. She said, hang on, I need to put somebody on the phone. And she puts on this coworker and says, I'm moving into an apartment and I need electricity right now. So we got her signed up with electricity. She needed it quick. She was moving in that day. And so
okay.
So when my friend called me and she said, she really needs help, and Karen got on the phone and I said, well, Karen, I said, I can help you save money and maybe even make some money. And she said, okay. And she is recently divorced after 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the paper, and now I forget. I've got it written down somewhere else where she moved from. I'm so sorry. She was living up north. She used to live here, and so she got divorced, and she moved down here to kind of start fresh. She works at a doctor's office. I think she's probably about my age. She does have a daughter that came here with her. I do not know her daughter's age. She did tell me that in the divorce she lost everything and she's having to start over. And I know there's, some financial pain there for her. All
right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's throw you under the bus a little bit here. How would you like to have a go at putting an invite together? Bearing in mind the 6 things. First of all, being in a hurry. Secondly, talking about your why. Third, the hook, which is, you started a new business. You have a new business project you're working on right now. Then number 4 is a reason why I'm calling you is, and you've got a couple of reasons there and there. Number 5 is the takeaway, and number 6 is a really intentional setting of the date. Do you want to have a go at that, or would you like me to do it for you?
I could start, but you're probably going to have to finish it for me.
No problem. Quite happy to do that. You start and I'll finish.
Okay. So I'm calling her up. Hi, Karen. This is Sandra. Hey, I just got a quick minute, but I was thinking about you today. Do you have just a quick minute to talk? Okay, great. Well, listen, we got you set up with electricity, and, I just wanted to share with you that, I told you a little bit about maybe I could help you make some money, and so, I got into this business because, I know you have your daughter, and I have a 24-year-old son, and, my hopes is, one day when I'm gone, I have something to leave him, and so this business is willable. And also, I'm looking at having a residual income that I don't have. So, I know that you had shared with me that you were recently divorced, you're starting fresh, and, lost everything. And, I would really, like to meet with you and show you what I do. Let's sit down. Let's set up an appointment, and it'll take about 25 minutes. And let's see if this is something that could really help you out. Would Wednesday, when you get off work, about 6 o'clock, would that work for you?
Yeah, very good. That's good. Just, I'm bearing in mind I threw you under the bus there. You did great. I think when you have a little bit more time to to tighten it up, you'll do really well. That was good. You're in a hurry. I just got a quick minute. If that isn't a Texan phrase, I don't know what is. I love it. That's fantastic. Again, I threw you under the bus, so it went on a little bit. You could probably tighten it up a little bit. But there's two ways you could approach this girl. One is the rules that we have. Hey Karen, I only have a quick minute. Do you have a quick second? I've been meaning to give you a call since we got you set up with electricity yesterday. Yeah, no problem. Okay, well, I've been meaning to give you a call because whoever your friend is, mentioned that you've kind of been through the ringer a little bit with what's going on in life, and personally, I've got no. In fact, no. I'm getting muddled up here. Let me take a step back. I'm going to do an invite the way we would do it, and then I'm going to do a much shorter, quicker invite, and you can pick which one you want. So the first one is following the rules. Number one, being in a hurry. Hey, Karen, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, but I've been meaning to give you a quick call since we got your electricity sorted out. Thanks very much for thinking of me, and I'm glad we were able to help you. But the reason I'm giving you a call is the reason why I do the Ambit business is because my husband and I are making sure we've got enough retirement done. And I want to make sure that I have plenty to leave my son as and when it's our time to go. So, I got involved in the Ambit business. Again, we can be specific because she knows, and it's actually doing really well for me. I'm quite surprised at how well it's working for me. Not only is it going to fulfill all my retirement, but we're definitely going to be able to leave Nathaniel, a very comfortable package as and when we move on. But the reason why I'm calling is a couple of reasons. First of all, obviously, I just would love you to refer me. Hopefully we did a good job for you. I'd love you to refer me to other people. But more importantly than that, I'm going to say, I don't know what the girl's name is who referred you, but let's say it's Susan. Susan mentioned that you've kind of had a little bit of a hard time yourself, with the divorce and this type of thing and things that made things really difficult for you. This might be something that would actually work for you alongside working at the doctor's office there. It's surprising how little time it takes, but compared to how much money you can be making with it. I don't know if it's going to be your cup of tea, but why don't we get together tomorrow around 5 o'clock after you finish work? There's a Starbucks just around the corner there. Have a look at how this whole thing works and see if it makes sense for you. Okay, so that's following the 6 stages. And again, you can listen back to this and record and write it down from there. Or you can go a little bit more quick and a little bit more direct, because you did say when you signed her up as a customer, you did say that help you save some money, but also help you make some money. So you could, if you want a shorter invite, give her a call back and say, hey, hopefully everything was sorted out with getting your electricity sorted out. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Reason for calling you back is, remember I said to you yesterday that there's actually an opportunity to be able to make some money with what we're doing with our Ambit business? She'll say, yeah. Say, well, look, I know you've been going through a lot just recently, and this may work perfectly for you alongside what you're doing at the doc's office. Why don't I come around after work tomorrow and show you how this whole thing works? I don't know if it's going to work at all or if it's going to be your cup of tea, but we should at least take a look, because it's really working for Carl and I for our retirement. So, as I said, I can be there around 5:30. What's a good time for you? So, similar thing, but I'm a little bit shorter and to the point with the second one.
Yes, both of those were great and much better than mine, but I didn't know you were going to ask me to do one. So, but yeah.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, and I'm not throwing you under the bus to catch you out. But you actually did brilliantly. You went through all six things, so that's great. So, okay, so that's an invite for Karen, and pick which one you want. Have a listen back, see which one suits you better. But let's work on one more. So you then got Brian, Karen, and one more for tomorrow. Who else can we work on?
So John was the next one on the list. I'm thinking I may not be able to get a hold of him during the week. I may need to call him on a Sunday.
Okay. What's the next name?
Okay, so Carol.
Carol. All right. Tell me about Carol. How old is she?
She's
roughly
in her mid-40s.
Okay, 40s. Married?
Married.
Kids?
Three children. I think they're
How old?
all I think the twins are about to go into college. I think they're all just about to go into college.
Wow. Has this girl got any pain? Methinks maybe.
Yeah, her husband is an attorney, and they do pretty well. She is a divisional vice president, recruiter, fitness trainer of a very fast-growing fitness company.
Okay.
And does well. Actually, she used to be my coach for a while when I went. Met her through my sister-in-law. She's her coach.
Well, let me tell you this. Neither she nor her husband are making residual income.
So
both of them are trading that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can't hear you.
Neither she nor her husband are making residual income. They're both doing well. They're both having great income, and that's perfectly fine. But neither of them are having residual income. So based upon this, there's a couple of approaches you can go. You can go the opinion route that we did with Greg first time round because they're pretty high level, and go the opinion route and referral route. Where I'd say, hey, Carol, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. It's Sandra Louther here. How well do you know her, by the way?
I know her pretty well. She was my health coach for maybe 6-8 months. I mean, that's the relationship that we had. I mean, we're not friends.
That's fine. All right, so I'd say, hey, Carol, Sandra Louther here. I'm a little bit of a hurry, but I've been meaning to give you a call all week. Have you got a couple of minutes? And she'll say yes. You say, listen, obviously, Carl and I are, we're approaching retirement, and we want to make sure, obviously, we have our retirement prepared because we don't right now, and we're obviously looking to see what we can do there, and we want to make sure that Nathaniel has everything that he needs as and when our time comes. So I've started a new business project that's actually going really, really well for me in the DFW area. And the reason why I'm calling you is a couple of reasons. I know that you and whatever her husband's name is are super well connected. And the one thing about my business is it's very important that I get the word out so people know what I'm doing. So I really would love you to have a look at what I'm doing so that you can help refer me and this type of thing. But secondly, Carol, I know that you and your husband, work very hard. You're both very successful. But I know there's no residual element to what you're doing, and you've got 3 kids just about to go into college, and this may actually be something that would work for you alongside what you're currently doing. And now I don't know if it's going to be your cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine, Carol. My friendship with you is more important than any business that I'm doing. But why don't we get together for coffee? I'll show you what I'm doing. I'd be very, very happy if you're able to refer me to any individuals. But as I say, it may be something that's of interest to you to add a residual income element alongside what your husband and you are doing. And I hadn't done that. So I don't know what you're doing after work, like 5 o'clock, 5:30 tomorrow. Let's go for a coffee. I might be repeating myself. I can't remember if I tied down the time or not, but you just got to tie down the time at the end. Say, hey, listen, let's go grab a coffee after work. I'll show you what I'm doing. See if it makes sense to you. But that's what I would do.
That was amazing. I will play that back and write out the script, practice that, work on that, get comfortable with it, and then call her with that. I feel very comfortable with that. So thank you. She's another one.
It's all in
without your help, I wouldn't call her on my own. I'm not ready for that. So this is just amazing. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. And again, you've got that fallback because part 4 is about getting referrals, or it may be something that you're interested in. If someone starts giving you too much pushback on, I'm not well, I don't want to look at anything else. Just the fallback is the referral. Well, if nothing else, Carol, I know you're really well connected and you can refer me to some good people. I'd really appreciate you taking a look at what I'm doing. So that's why number 4 has that alternative there. So you got a nice little fallback either way. Because we wanted to look at it so she joins. But we've got a little fallback just in case. So, yeah, listen back to that, write it down. Again, you can hear the posture in my voice. And again, this is why writing it down and practicing it and having patience makes all the difference. Because you can say the same words without posture, and you just sound like a driveling idiot. So, listen back, write it down, And I know you'll do great. I know you'll do great. So that's it, my lovely. I haven't got anything else for you unless you've got any other questions.
I do have one question.
Sure.
So when we invite someone with the approach of wanting their opinion or a referral, when we go to show them the business presentation, how do we pull in that three-way call? Now, I realize, you've got a leader and they handle that, but, how I've done it in the past, I show them the video, and then after it's done, I'll say, great, let's get your questions answered. And then I immediately call my three-way call person that's on standby that I've already set it up, get them on the phone, and I introduce the two of them. Well, I'm approaching Greg with wanting his opinion, so what is with, I just don't know how to go into that three-way call.
Well, here's the thing is when you're asking for the opinion, the three-way call might not be appropriate. During the presentation, we're going to look for an opportunity to say, you know what, Greg, this may actually be something that would suit you, bearing in mind something he says or whatever. But we're not doing it in the invite because we're asked for an opinion. But then you're going to show him the business, and he may literally have zero interest but give you an opinion. And that's fine. Some people will say try to wrangle it round to a three-way call, but you know what? I don't know if I would. If it truly is, he's obviously not the slightest bit interested, but truly gives you a genuine opinion and really helps you, then that's one thing. But to then try and, if he's not expressed any interest in the business at all, and try and put him on a three-way call, that might be really awkward. It might be. Yeah. So I'm going to say to you, it's okay not to. Now, there may be some leaders out there who are shouting at the phone right now saying, no, Richard, you've got to get him on a three-way because you put him on the right person, and they're going to convince him to join the business. You know what? I don't think in the last 2 years I've not tried to convince anybody. I give them all the information that they want, and I'm pretty, persuasive in giving them all the information, but then they will then join with me, not me. They'll buy from me. I won't sell to them. And again, that is a personal choice in the way I do it and my team do it. But I do not want to undermine the other leaders that are out there. There may be some leaders that say, Sandra, I don't care what you do. Get me on a three-way with him. I'm going to convince him he needs to be joined. He needs to join, and I get that, and that's perfectly fine. But in my situation and with my team, I may say if he truly has zero interest, because he probably will smell that you probably want him to look at it to join. And if I did, I'd say, look, this is great. It's not something I would do, but here's what I would suggest. Call this guy. He likes these types of things, or, definitely, and I would, but I've told you I'm not interested. So you're not going to put me on a three-way call. Some people might, but I wouldn't. But if you, during the presentation, say, hey, and you're talking, you were talking to me and say, hey, Richard, I know that, you're a pretty entrepreneur and you've been, and I would say, this is something I might, that I might want to do myself. Then absolutely I would put me on a three-way call with another business owner. So I would wait for me to reach. I would wait for Greg to reach rather than you reach for him and try and pull him in when he's obviously not. So I'm giving you permission to not do a three-way call if you don't feel it's absolutely relevant.
Well, that is fantastic. That helps me tremendously. And so you're right. I mean, he may come right out and say, this isn't anything I would do, but, I could see. I mean, I'll let him talk. I came for his opinion, hear what he has to say, and then if I don't know either way at some point, then and I'm still comfortable, I'll just say, could you see yourself doing this? And then just have my
absolutely. There you go.
Standby. Yeah.
And that's all posture. But, if you're getting a no from him, remember you've got two fallbacks, which is asking for referrals and asking if he, let's have a look at your bill and see if we can save you some money. But that's perfect. Yeah. That's great. I think you'll deal with that perfectly fine. And so, And then as far as the segue into the three-way call, let's get your questions answered properly. Hold on a second. Make the call. Yeah. I actually don't say anything.
And then I could also just say, so do you know of anybody, do you think, Brittany, do you think this is something that maybe, would work for her? Maybe you could help her with it. I could go into
Absolutely.
that. You know,
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Again, all posture, all nicely laid back. He's going to see that the company has a lot of credibility. Obviously, with Jerry Thompson and Chris Chambers running this thing, he's going to see this as a serious thing. He's going to like it or not like it or whatever. But when I looked at it, I was looking at it because I was asked my opinion. I was like, hell, not only is my son, not going to do this straight away, he's going to be in my team. He's going to do this, and he's going to be in my team. And I joined. So opinions absolutely work.
Very good. Well, thank you.
So with that, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to work
You are
really
very
hard
welcome.
tomorrow. I'm going to get my calls done tomorrow. I'm on it.
And hey, let's see if we can get another reactive invite in there. Let's be listening for Pain all day, and if you hear it, offer help. If I hear Pain, I will offer help. Remember that. So fantastic, good day. 2 opportunities to show the plan. Oh my goodness me, you might even beat the record. I think Dana has the record, or maybe Dana or Christy has the record for the number of opportunities to show the plan. Let's see if we can beat it. Hey, I've thrown the challenge down there, Sandra.
Hey, if there's a challenge, you didn't tell me about that. That's a whole new ball game now.
Hey, listen, let me tell you this. If you win the challenge, I'll let you take me out for a barbecue when you come up this way. Actually, no, not barbecue. I'm sick and tired of barbecue. Let's go for Italian.
You're on. I would love
All
that.
right, my lovely. Great day. Fantastic day. I'll get this this call on Facebook as quickly as I can. And I'll be texting everybody to let them know when it's on. But keep your eye on the Facebook page, and you'll see it get up there.
Thank you, Richard. Have a great night.
Anytime. Thank you very much. Bye, lovely.
Night.
Bye-bye.